humanity, feel humanity, and act with humanity. That's the motto of Modems, Moravian. So today I'm with the founder of Moravian, Mr. Jonah Sinyangwe. I would love to know more about Moravian. We would love to know how did it started, and then you can give us a more brief history about Moravian, please.
Moravian Humanitarian and Development Service was born from the Moravian Church itself, as a development initiative of the church that has to really look on issues of social justice on humanity, issues to do with livelihood of humanity, and issues to do with sustainable development of humanity. After hatching the idea within the Moravian family, and then there was this that it has to be established as an organization, for us at least, to work with that flexibility and to serve people with that kind of flexibility without all sorts of bureaucracy, as might be normally in other organizations. So we established the Modems in 2016.
2016.
Yes, with the objective of serving humanity. We are in Lilongwe. That's where we have our headquarters. We are autonomous, as I've said, from the old Moravian church family, but we are guided with well-structured corporate governance, because we have a board above us, and also in this board there is an inclusion of people from the Moravian church and the professionals, them that we feel can challenge us to carry out our work as professional as we can. So that was the whole thinking, the whole idea of coming up with that this organization, looking at the many sufferings of people, the vulnerability of a lot of people, be it girls, even boys, children, women, men, and also looking at the circumstances due to the climate change. A lot of disasters are happening when people are not prepared, and causing uncertainties, causing quite a lot of havoc to the traditional vulnerable people. And we thought maybe something has to be done. I think it has to be done in a way that it has to be more humanitarian, and then the spiritual aspect can come as a complement to it. So generally, I think in brief, that's how I can tell how maybe the motives started. And then the projects that we thought about, I think we have got a lot of ideas on how we can help humankind. I don't think it's only one intervention that you think can take out a humankind from the abject poverty that they are. I think you need kind of a multi-sectoral approach in order to at least solve the human problems. So we came up with these pillars of having the humanitarian aspect, and then we have the sustainable development aspect on a humankind. And we found ourselves that there was quite a great need during the time we were starting the organization at Dzaleka. Yes, there was undisputably a great need. This now was in 2015. Actually, before even the organization was registered. Yes, itself. I took a passion. I believed that there are people at Dzaleka whom I need to visit and just have a word or two, understand what it is, how it is to live like in that environment of a refugee. Because of the understanding of the Moravian also has an element of the refugees. I think the starting of the Moravian church, it has a lot of element of refugees who really were key into starting the Moravian mission itself in the world. So compelled by that, I think we have seen the love of God. We have seen the love of Jesus himself manifesting unto us. So we felt, there are brethren whom are in a situation that our forefathers faced decades ago. How can we learn from them, and how can we sit together and maybe find common solutions to their livelihoods and to their social needs? So that's when now in 2016 we started to implement some projects around Zaleka, refugee camp, at the same time with the host community of Zaleka.
Wow. Thank you very much. Mr. Jonah, there is a strong belief that what we are today, there is a strong foundation from how we grew up. You know, like we end up becoming who we are. Just the strong contribution can be also our environment, how we grew up. And then I'm wondering, why are you a humanitarian now? You know, someone who is in need of helping other people's lives. You know.
I think it's also my upbringing that contributes to be who I am today. As I've said that I've grown up in a more vulnerable kind of setup.
That's why I'm coming up with this idea. Like, wow,
So the humanitarian in me, it's natural.
It's natural.
I think it's not something that I have to take it artificial because maybe I acquired it through education, through other exposures. No, I think I have a belief that it's more natural because I am, because there were people around me. At 4 years, I had already lost both my parents. These were very poor parents, as I have said. So it meant that people around myself, they were not all that well-to-do people. You know what? So, but they were there for me, and this is how you see me. So to appreciate the efforts, resources, whatever they had put on me to be who I am today, it becomes natural for me that I also have to look at other people. And provide the same opportunity that other people provided to me, to also these people to have the same opportunities to be of who they want to be also in their life. So that's how I can say it.
Maybe you correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm in my understanding, I'm understanding like the community have contributed in your upbringing.
The community, yes, have contributed into my upbringing. Mind you, if you have lost a mother, you have lost a father. Who else? Even the brother or the sister might be there. But I will tell you, my story is that by the time I was losing out these people, none of the closest blood brothers or blood sisters had a decent job or had a job. They were all in school. And maybe others were married. But that is a story for another time. You know what I'm saying? But I know that the communities played quite a great role of who I am today. So it combines the community of my relatives, the community of where my relatives were living. They played quite a great role. There were some people during the time that I was growing up who naturally could understand that I was going through tougher times. And they could be there for me. There were some times that I couldn't even go and attend classes because formally, if you do not have a school uniform, you are not even allowed to get into classrooms. You know what I'm saying? But there were people who were able to share me from their wardrobes, the uniforms that they had, for me to simply go and attend the school. So you can see that the community played a major role. If I'm to rate how much the community played, I think it has to be 50-50 between the people that I was bloodly related and the general community itself. So I would appreciate the greater role the general community played for who I am today. And I still also appreciate because I really like to be part and parcel of the community. Because this naturalizes now the way how I was brought up. So anywhere where I am, I just don't want to be me alone. I think I just feel like I have to be me and somebody might be closer, or somebody whom we have just shared a smile, or maybe somebody whom we feel we can talk one or two stories and the like. Because that's how I have been brought up, to appreciate what the community did for me in bringing me up.
Wow, thank you very much. Now I would like to know, sir, as you were growing, when did you realize that you really have the potential to give back to the community?
There was a time in my upbringing when I realized that it wasn't all the time that I was living in that complete abject poverty. There was a time when even the community together with relatives could provide me maybe with clothes in abundance after having stayed maybe with almost one attire for quite a long time, in abundance. And then this other time I realized that I have a lot in me, and I had my mom's sister, my auntie, who was really staying quite away from Chitipa town, a bit away, where even children around there, I wouldn't like to mention their names. Much as they had all the parents available, but they were vulnerable, not exposed to, dressing of their level, whatever. So it is this time that I could take a lot of things that I had and go and give them. And this time I was almost maybe in standard 8, if I'm not mistaken. So the giving in me started way back. It was in me. It's better that I share everything that I have and I remain with what I feel would still make me a decent person. Than to see somebody who is not dressed or somebody who is half dressed. So this to me started way back when I was in primary school, and I grew up doing that. And when I go to those communities, they still remember. The young ones now are grown up, they have families and kids. They would, when they see me coming now, I can maybe go there. God blesses us. You drive and come and meet your uncle. Come and meet. We were having clothes because of him. So they can bear testimony until now.
They tell the whole history.
Oh yeah. Others are even. We have a reliable organization that we produce reliable services that we know that in the end also matters in changing the lives of the people from the Saleka refugee camp.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Jonah, for everything that you shared today. From everything that you were saying, the two words that came to mind all the time when you were talking about your journey is mission and vision. Those are the two words that kept on ringing in my mind constantly. So my question is, what advice can you give us as leaders that are growing in different spaces to always harness the power of vision and mission in everything that we do, like the importance of it, and also can you just share on your own experience how mission and vision has kept you going, because you've been doing this for a very long time, and anyone can get tired if they don't have a good mission and vision.
Yeah, thank you so much for an inspiring question. One thing that I can advise the leaders, I can advise the youths, I can advise anyone who matters to go through my journey is to have a really focused mind. And when you have a really focused mind, that means you have a goal that has been set. And the mission is for you to go and achieve that goal that you have been set. Ahead of a goal, there is a vision already. So the mission always would meet a lot of obstacles. But what we are saying is, can you stay focused? Because sometimes the obstacles that the mission meets, they are very overpowering. I wouldn't want to use the word temptations, but the obstacles that the mission that you are taking, sometimes they would meet obstacles that are very tempting. But can you stick to that and have a belief to say that it's the right thing that you're doing? Consult your mind properly. And then check around your environment. Are they misinterpreting you? Or maybe it's the right way what they are thinking on your mission, but maybe you are misinterpreting them. Check it. But if you find that they are only misinterpreting and what you're doing is the right thing, keep focused. Keep focused. And keep focused. Always have hope. I always tell anyone around me to say that it's not what today is that tomorrow will be. It depends on what you do today, you yourself, the efforts you put on today, that has to determine how the tomorrow has to be. You see what I'm saying? It will not always come as a tomorrow without your effort. And how these efforts have to be, they always have to be smart. So associate with yourself with people, them that will give you a lot of encouragement. And associate yourself at least with issues or affairs that mostly matters to your mission. And then you are going to achieve it. You know, all this journey, as you have put it, it's like you wanted me to explain that it has not all been rosy. It has never been rosy for me to reach this far. It has never been rosy. Including even the people who are very much behind my success. They literally know and can tell stories how situations have not been rosy with me. How I've been tested. You know, the examinations I've undertaken in life when I was pursuing the mission to reach this far. So you really have to be a strong-minded person and be a strong person. You do not have to be losing hope at some point to say, maybe I've seen this one has just come and then has gone past myself. Or allow me to even mix the language. I can speak also Swahili, mbona huyu amefika tu kanipita haraka mi nachelewa niko hapa basi niache hii nimfuate huyu. No, stick to your mission. And every time on that mission, spice it, keep going, spice it. Sometimes God uses different events that will really come and take you in that turbulence that you were facing, and then you find things that are straight. So I can advise you to be like that. Be strong, be focused. Make sure if the mission is meeting some obstacles, overcome them. Any obstacle that is human caused, they can also be solved by the same human person. So have that total belief in yourself. And as leaders, you also do not have to be intimidated. Intimidated in the same that, because if you are a leader, you are leading people. And if you are leading people, you are leading minds. And these minds will never be the same. It is you as a leader to make sure that you are making these minds to be the same. It is how you lead them. Yeah, it is how you resolve the conflicts that arises. It is how you help to solve the misconcepted ideas that the leaders have, that those people have around yourself. Because if you are leading more than 3 people, their minds are never the same on the agenda. Their minds are different. But if you are telling them the agenda is right, and even the future for that agenda, you are able to see it yourself, expose the vision to them. Tell them, keep telling it, and push. They will learn. And then you move with them. Because you can be defeated by people around yourself. It means even myself, people around me could have defeated me. I couldn't have been where I am. Doesn't mean there has never been criticisms. Doesn't mean that there has never been issues. Strong issues for that matter. There has been there. But what did I do? I had to make sure that all the challenges that were there, all the issues that were there, either I turn them into opportunities. You know what I'm saying, yeah? I turn them into opportunities, move with them. I turn them into strength, move with them. So I'm not threatened. You see? That means you have sorted out the issue. So be so clever to say an issue, if it comes, it has a weakness, it has a strength, it has an opportunity, and like as you talk of the SWOT analysis and the like. So it is in you, the leader. You are trying to push, take people yourself, and then you move with people. It's you who can take them into the drain. It's you who can take them up as a leader. So you really have to be strong when you want to manage people, yeah? So it's a topic of another day, how to be strong, but I think in brief, that's how I can tell you that keep the focus. Wow. And understand that people around you, they will never have the same equal idea as you have. You need to make them buy it, whether they like it or not. Despite they have a dissenting view altogether, if you believe in that idea, that it is the right thing, educate them. Don't be afraid, educate them. Tell them, this is right, my brother. This is right, my sister. Let's not waste time with the idea. It is good in that context, that's what you are saying. But this one,
it's right.
Take it right. Then you move.
Wow. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate your time and what you've been sharing with us. And I understand that there's nothing always complete. Just want to ask on the same point that you're explaining, like as a leader, whether they want it or not, as long as you know it's the right thing.
you should keep doing it. And earlier, you've been saying that you became what you are right now because of the community. And as a leader, you're leading the community. What if they are against your ideas? Is it like there's a system or maybe the way you can use to convince them? I would like to know how to change people's ideas and thinking.
Yeah, that's a good question, yes. Because at the end of your idea, it has to go and end to the community. Yeah? So it's like the community is the end recipient of your idea. And they might be really against that one. That's why there are issues to do with community mobilization, like community involvement and whatever. So there are steps, there are approaches in how you have to deal with the issues in the community. You use what we call the participatory rule of appraisals. Make communities belong to the idea that you have. It might be bad, but in their thinking. It might be bad in their thinking, but you think it's the right thing. So if you use the participatory rule of appraisal, that means the community itself, you have to analyze it. It has levels, it has hierarchies. There are chiefs, there is a committee for this, there is what and what, and where is your idea falling within the community? You will find in one of the structures of the community, your idea is falling. And this structure will not be against that, because it is where it is falling. Convince this structure, and they will be the ones to take the message to the fellow communities. Because sometimes they might be so resistant due to lack of knowledge. They might be so resistant due to kind of like an animosity relationship that you as a person with an idea and the community holds. Sometimes it might be how you yourself you live with the community. I think it's the same, they are kind of like an animosity. Yeah, so it's a skill. That's why I said in the first place that the humanitarian in me, it's natural.
Yes, natural.
And then it is complemented with education, trainings, exposure, and the like. Yeah. You dealing with communities, you have to be so dynamic. Build yourself dynamically. Take their ideas. Don't just crush them. Never. Appreciate their ideas. That yes, you have an idea, and this idea is very good. And within their good idea, put in still more your idea until they get convinced. Recognize them, realize them at every level. That's why we work with everyone without any conflict. I think you have known that we work around for some time. And I think you have kept your ear open to hear the conflict that we can bring around. But maybe that doesn't arise. Simply it's because of an approach that we use to the leaders. There has to be quite a lot of respect to the community leaders, a lot of respect. And just don't take them because this one is a community leader and that means his knowledge ends at community leader. Never. Give them space in your thinking that they have knowledge more than what you have. If they realize you recognize them like that, you will never have conflicts in the community. Because having conflict with the community, that's a failure of the project itself. How can I come and implement a project here if I have conflict with communities? Can you do that?
No, it's impossible.
Yeah, so it's the first thing that you always have to deal with. It's the first matter that you always have to take it with a lot of consideration and a lot of respect. Do not undermine the wisdom of the communities. There might be people whom you see them, maybe you pass by, wamelewa, yani kwako wewe unafikiri kwamba hawa akili zao hazitaweza kunichange mimi.
Yeah.
But when they want to react on your issue, that's when you realize how important those people are. They have wisdom. Kule kwenye ulevi wao kule, wana wisdom. Ukizitap wisdom zako kwenye idea zako na ku-appreciate their wisdom despite their social status and the like, definitely you will never be in conflict with communities. Just yesterday I can give you one testimony. I was talking to my daughter because we are developing a certain project. And then he was very interested for me to define to him the levels of community structures that I had put in the project. So, I was busy half part of yesterday from 12 noon, where I could have already gone home up until 5 p.m. trying to define each level of the communities. And he said, now I understand. That's why you have been successful until now. I said, yes. Because you know what? if I'm doing a project that is community-based, the key stakeholder for me has to be the community itself. I cannot be going to our district and conducting meetings that matter for the communities without the communities themselves. Yeah. It doesn't work. These people, they hear, they know, they are exposed. And then you go yourself there. I've ever gone to a certain community where somebody was sitting there, very drunk, and says, mimi siwezi kaja huko bwana, au ameshachukua posho nyingi, wanakuja hapa kutuzindua zingua tu. Mimi siwezi kaja huko. Hata wewe mke wangu sikuone mimi unaenda huko. Au wameshakula hela, wamekuja sisi kutuzingua, you know? I realized that there wasn't that community mobilization, proper one. There wasn't that community engagement, proper one. There wasn't that community awareness, proper one, before we actually went to the community. But that time I was under other people, which I cannot allow people who I work with, they are under me, to use that as an approach. They first of all have to respect the communities, the structures that are there, share with them the ideas of how you want to do it and how you're going to do it. Tell them how they are going to be involved in the same project in their own community. You know what I'm saying? I think if you reach that level, you have managed the conflict that can arise in the community.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, the last question.
Yeah, sorry. Actually, I listed a couple questions and you just went through some. Another question is, you're talking about the beneficiaries, and according to the situation in Malawi and all over the world, it's like almost everyone needs help. And I'd like to know what system or technique do you use to realize that these people, they deserve it or this affecting? Or what exact is the criteria you follow when doing the donation or with the preparation, like when you want to start doing activity?
Yeah, first thing is there has to be a problem. There has to be a situation that has to compel us to think about making an action. So where is the situation? Has the situation arisen in the refugee camp, where 3/4 of the households are going on empty stomach for days and days? If yes, then we would say, okay, the first approach is now to tell, because the Zaleka is a community that is well governed. You have on top there is a camp manager, yeah? So I will go to the camp manager. This is the idea that I have. That is not seeking permission, mind you. I'm not seeking permission, but I'm telling the idea that I have according to the situation that has existed in a community that this person manages. So I will advise, if he cannot be quicker to advise me, to tell him that I would like to meet the community leaders. So when I meet the community leaders, and then together with the community leaders, we will find the solution how to deal with this issue. Yes, there is hunger in the camp, but not everyone. Others can find food per day, others can literally not find. Yes, there is hunger in the camp, others have external support, others completely do not have external support. So I ask them, okay, can you list to me, according to the resources that I have, it will not manage everyone. I understand everyone is vulnerable here. Everyone is vulnerable. Now there I combine everyone in the local community as well. It's vulnerable. But now the resources that we have to target at least the most vulnerable, who completely cannot do because they don't have external support.
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't have any kind of a small income generating activity around, any economic activity around them. And they're typical vulnerable.
They're just waiting for
anything that might come to them. So together now we say, how many are they? They will tell us now to say, these are so much. Calculating with the resources that we have, how much can we give them? Is it 1 bag of maize? Yes, it is enough. Is it half bag of maize? Yes, it is enough. Is it 25 kgs of flour already made? Yes, it is enough. Then they are the people we target. We know for sure that others will not be happy. But if you tell them the reason why you have targeted this, wewe unakuja kabisa na msaada kwa yule mtu wa kwamba hata jirani wake anajua kabisa mimi nimezidiwa, ila lakini jirani wangu amezidiwa sana. Hawezi kalaumu. Hawezi, that's humanity. Hawezi kalaumu. You see? So it's like nikileta sasa ninasema okay nitakuja na msaada, alafu namchukua mtu toka Lumbas ndio anakuja kupokea msaada. Is that right? Cause conflict kubwa sana. But if you have done the right thing, remember the word I've said, right thing to a right people, the community appreciates. Kwa sababu ni wewe umewapa tu kazi ya kwamba identify for me the right beneficiary according to this right assistance with the situation that you have. Watakuletea exactly a person. Now wale wa community wakikosea kwa sababu wameweka ndugu zao, ni community tena ile itadiru na wao. It's not you as an organization. So wewe umesimama tu, wanakuambia kabisa wewe hatuna kazi nao. Huyu alikuwa anaandika, tulikuwa tunamuona anaandika jirani zake, huyu ni jirani yake, huyu ni jirani yake. Because there was first community involvement, that community mobilization and engagement to own the thing. So it's the system that actually I can in brief try to tell you how we use and how we reach out with the aid that we have to the people.
Wow. Mr. Jonah, thank you very much. Umetuambia kweli ideas zenye ziko na mawazi makubwa sana. We really thank you for that and time now tushasidia at that time. Mlikuwa na mengi vya kutuambia and even the time now is gone. I'm just remaining with two more questions. Two more questions. The first question is what are qualities of a humanitarian? Please make it a little bit brief.
I don't know how people they look at me when I walk there. Do I look like a humanitarian? Do I look like one of the troublesome people? I don't know. Because people can define me better how the qualities of a humanitarian have to be. However, I believe that a humanitarian has to be a humble person. That's the first thing. Has to be a humble person. And a humanitarian second thing has to have total understanding of situations. Total understanding situations in depth, even before owners of the situation have not explained it.
But you have to be aware of it.
You have to literally be aware and already have the solutions inside. You do not have to expose somebody who is in a situation ili aanze kukuambia wewe mimi. That's where you see people crying. Cry with them, have that empathy before they even start explaining. At least observe that the situation equal out of hand. So those are the qualities that I think the humanitarian person needs to have. But also a humanitarian person needs to be dynamic, very dynamic. The dynamism comes in the way that he has to be flexible. You know, when I'm responding to this situation, it shouldn't deny me from responding to another arising situation. I shouldn't niko tu vile basi nimeangalia huyu anakufa, huyu ana nini, mimi nimeangalia. No, I have to be dynamic. Kuna situation nyingine inataka chakula, kuna situation nyingine inataka maji yenyewe, kuna situation nyingine inataka shule, kuna situation nyingine inataka hospitali, kuna situation nyingine inataka a lot of things. I have to be dynamic and make sure that I respond accordingly, bila kujiumiza mwili wangu, kwa sababu nitajiumiza kama mimi mwenyewe nasukumwa tu if I'm forced to do the work. But a humanitarian ought to have this as natural thing. I think there are a lot of characteristics or maybe qualities that a humanitarian needs to have. And then the level of interaction, you know, perception, you know, usiwe humanitarian ukija unakuja Zareka camp, umetoka huko Lilongwe na gari yako umekuja hapa, alafu kama watu wapo wanaenda, wewe unasema mimi hapa siwezi kakanyaga. Unaenda kwa this famous guy inside the camp, unasema mimi hizi nyama siwezi kala, and you are seeing people are eating dead.
Uko kwa Abdul pale.
Humanitarian inatakiwa uwe kama wewe. It's a calling, you know, because if you are called to do that work, you are going to step your feet where it is unsteppable. Other people are avoiding it. But there are humans that are suffering that area. Go and put your feet there. That's the major quality of a humanitarian. Wale wamekwambia tunakula mbolea. I think in Swahili we call mbolea. These husks za mahindi, mbolea. tunakula mbolea, wanakula na wanakaa na zile mbolea. You have to be a humanitarian. If this is not poisonous, and if this is what is keeping them alive, I can also test it. Sio kwenda pale wewe ukasema unakula hivi. Jamani mimi siwezi. Are you a humanitarian? You see? Yeah. Unanyanyaswa, unaona situation, mtoto yuko na shida kabisa, mtoto amejinani, yuko helpless. And then wewe unafanya hivi, unakwepa hivi. Are you a humanitarian? Go in that situation, kwa sababu yule mtoto anatakiwa maji. Anatakiwa umweke, just clean the kid, you know?
To be a humanitarian, which means no pride.
Yes.
Pride is a devil.
Pride in humanitarian is a complete devil. Okay. Where the suffering people are walk with them. Humanitarian is quite a very good, and I like doing humanitarian. Given an opportunity to do it at an extensive level, I would do humanitarian. Unakuta humanitarian ni kind of culture inawachange hata wenzetu, these politicians. Ikifika wakati wa kampeni, unawaona watakuja, wanaweza kaja Zaleka, wanakula na yeye kwa sababu anataka cheo. But the humanitarian doesn't look for cheo. It's a work. So ina maana wale wanakopi from what a humanitarian does, but they do it in a wrong way. Kwa sababu wakiwapa cheo, wamewatupa watu. Hawezi kaja tena.
We are done.
Hawezi kaja akatembea na mguu kutoka pale barabarani kuingia huko sokoni. Hawezi kaja kanunua vile watu wao wananunua. Why mmempa cheo sasa hivi kwake ni Shoprite na nini na nini. Hawezi touch what you are touching. You see? So that's why we are saying a humanitarian ought to have these qualities. To live, think, do with humanity.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Semesho kweli, having you this week is a blessing.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have learned so much from you, and we believe that even people who are going to watch these interviews, they're also going to benefit from experiences and what you have been experiencing and what you have been contributing to this community and to the world, in general to the world. So this is the Leaders Talk. Leaders Talk happens every Saturday from 10:30 up to 11. This show is presented to you by Zaleka Rising. I'm your host, Kenny Erad Mujako, and I'm having our guest here, Mr. Jonah Sinyangwe. So what's up? As a servant leader, please give us your last words. As a servant leader.
Firstly, I have to appreciate that you thought it wise I have to be with you. I am always eager to always be with you. Yeah. And my heart is so happy that I can meet people whom we can talk. I think issues that we have talked, issues of humanitarian, it really becomes something that motivates me, and you have made my day quite a lot.
Thank you.
I wish you well, and I think let's keep engaging one another on various topical issues, because we are here, we are existing with you here, working with you. So, the message I can send out is that let people understand that at Zaleka, they are not refugees who are always staying there. Refugee is a status.
It's a status.
It's a status.
Yes, that's true.
There are human beings that stay there at Zaleka.
Okay, they are not refugees, they are human beings. Refugees is just a status.
It's just a status. You know, they are human beings with the same senses that everyone human being has. Same ability as the same human being has.
Yes.
Let us have a feeling of how did that person find himself at that place. That's humanitarian. Yeah? If you have that feeling, then you are able to know that there are people whom you can stay together, because you can learn from them. No person, no society, no whoever is an island. We learn from one another, despite the statuses, despite of types of communities that we live in. So, as you live in Zaleka, have quite a lot of confidence. Quite a lot of confidence that you can move the world. Your knowledge, your abilities, your expertise, your whatever, matters most in moving the world from the level it is to another level.
Wow.
So that has to give you the pride. These are kind of like my last words.
Yeah.
And for those out there looking at Dzaleka with that kind of an eye, I'm only saying to say, think twice. Think twice, yes. Think twice. Because there are a lot of lost opportunities that are hampering us because we have a different mindset to the truth.
Yeah.
It's a matter of just coming and knowing the truth. And then you will see that we are living as a society, as a community that is well integrated, that trusts, believes in one another, and moving with development together, and going forward like that. Yeah. So
thank you very much. Please just give an applause to Mr. Jonah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate and really love your message. For those who have another eye of Dzaleka, please, they really have to think twice.
Yes.
Because this is also, as you are saying, this is an area where people have abilities, people have capacities like any other human being in this world.
Yeah.
So to be honest, you are right. What you're saying is really true, and we thank you for being here with us. We've learned so much from you, and we believe that we're gonna apply the thinking of a humanitarian in our lives, and even those people who can watch this interview, they also gonna try to apply the same feeling as you are applying to this community. So we really appreciate for your presence in this community. Thank you very much, and this is the end of the Leaders Talk. We'll see you again next Saturday. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Asante sana.
Asante sana. Nashukuru.